What's up everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today is actually my 2019 end of the year reading stats kind of. I actually did not, I realized that I did not keep up with my stats throughout the year. So I only have the ones that were on my Goodreads 2019 your year in books type of thing. But then I'm also gonna just show you all of the books that I read over the year of 2019 and my readings for them. So this is gonna be not a super long video at all, and I am now making myself a goal that for 2020 I'm going to keep track of all of my stats, because I probably could have went back and watched every single one of my wrap-ups for the whole year and figured out how many thrillers and how many romances and how many books I read every month, but I do not have the kind of time to actually do that. So for 2020 I am going to keep that every single month. I'm gonna just write down so that way I don't have to go and figure it out later. So I read 112 books in the year of 2019, which has been the most books I've ever read in a year. I've always loved reading, but there were so many years that I went without reading, and now that I actually have a Goodreads goal and I, obviously make booktube videos and have an online book club, I push myself now to read 100 books every year. So that was really cool that I read 112, and so my goal for 2020 is still 100, but I would definitely like to read more and more every single year. Then that was 35,668 pages. My shortest book was The Grown Up, and that was only 64 pages, and I really loved this book. And then my longest book was Imaginary Friend at 720 pages. That's probably one of the longest books that I've ever read in my life, and I cannot believe that I actually read it and finished it. I'm super proud of myself for that one. The most popular book that I read was Misery by Stephen King, and that was my first full-length Stephen King novel that I finished this year, so I was very proud of that. And then my least popular was one that I got from NetGalley. It was called The Extremely Busy Woman's Guide to Self-Care. I ended up not liking that. My average rating is 3.5 out of 5, which I feel watching everyone else's videos, that rating is really low. But I don't know. You guys know that I don't just hand out 5-star reads to all these books. I feel I give the books the rating that I actually feel. I feel I'm not swayed by certain people's opinions. I give the book the rating that I think that it deserves. So like I said, I don't really have a whole list of how many thrillers I read, how many romances I read, stuff like that, just because it would take me a long time to go figure it out. But I do know that my top 2 read genres are thrillers and romance. I actually feel I read more romance this year than I've ever read before, and I feel I have definitely kind of figured out exactly what I like not only in thrillers but also in romance. With thrillers, I love fast-paced thrillers, obviously. I love amnesia thrillers. I love unreliable narrators. I don't like the slow burn atmospheric thrillers, which I think is why I gave a lot of the popular thrillers of this year pretty low ratings, because that just wasn't the thriller for me. As far as romance, I don't really like the smutty romances. I like more hard-hitting emotional romances, and so I was really glad to have Taylor Jenkins Reid as a favorite author for 2019, because years previously Colleen Hoover was one of my newer favorite authors, so I feel that is pretty cool. I don't think I have a new favorite thriller author this year, and so I'm interested to see if that's gonna happen in 2020. Of course, I do love dystopian still, but I feel I didn't read very many dystopian books over this year, so in 2020, obviously, I want to kind of branch out a little more and read more of that. I do know that I do not like young adult books, so that is something I probably will not really be reading or focusing on in the year of 2020, just because I know I don't really like them. I'm usually always bored or disappointed or annoyed when I read young adult, so that's kind of staying away. I do have a couple historical fictions I want to try out this year. I'm not really a person that goes out of my comfort zone, but I am going to try out a historical fiction book that I got from Book Outlet, and you can check it out. I have a haul right here for you guys if you want to look. And then I also was able to swap for a copy of Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. I've heard that this book is very dark and can be triggering, and so for me, I really want to try that out in the fantasy genre, even though I don't really like fantasy, or I think think I don't like fantasy, I am going to be reading Ninth House here in 2020, and hopefully that can kind of open the door a little bit into a little bit of fantasy for me. And so that's just kind of like the reading taste that I've learned over this year. Not really like that's even a stat or anything, but I felt like I should tell you guys where I feel like I evolved in my reading of this year. I have also gotten better at listening to audiobooks. I listened to quite a few audiobooks this year. I don't know the exact number, but I know that in years previous, I probably listened to like 1 or 2. And I feel like this year, I've definitely probably listened to at least 10. I really want to pay attention to this stuff over the year of 2020, because like I haven't even had my booktube channel for a full year yet. So I feel like this is the year that I'm going to keep track of all these stats, so that way next year when I do the end of the year reading videos, I actually have full stats for you guys. Okay, let's go ahead and get into all of the books that I read for 2019, and I will just pop them up for you guys and show you my rating. So let's go ahead and, you know, you can see all my 112 books. These books do not count the DNFs. If you want to see my DNF books for the year, you can watch this video right here, which I talk about DNFs and how they do not count towards my Goodreads reading goals. So the 112 books are all books that I've completely finished. Verity, The Happiness Project, She Was the Quiet One, The Lies We Told, Kilman Creek, Her One Mistake, No Exit, An Anonymous Girl, Maybe Now, Elevation, Understanding the Holy Spirit Today, Uninvited, The Woman in the Window, The Other Woman, Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating, Mudvayne, The Kind Worth Killing, Smarter, Faster, Better, The Longevity Diet, The Water Cure, Birthday Girl, Hunting Annabelle, The Stillwater Girls, I Know You, Woman Code, I Know Who You Are, My Favorite Half Night Stand, A Stranger on the Beach, A House at the Bottom of a Lake, One True Loves, My Lovely Wife, The Silent Patient, After I Do, Reconstructing Amelia, Maybe in Another Life, The River at Night, The Keto Diet, The Escape Room, Recursion, Present Over Perfect, The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, The Essential Oils Diet, Lost in Me, The Friend Zone, This Is Me, I Can Be a Better You, All Your Perfects, On the Island, The Kiss Quotient, Birthday, The Butterfly Project, Never Have I Ever, The Unhoneymooners, All the Beautiful Lies, The Farm, Keto for Women, The Cabin at the End of the World, Call Me Evie, The Grown Up, Lock Every Door, Too Late, His Banana, Pines, Girls Stop Apologizing, The Lost, Jane Doe, Daisy Jones and the Six, Before I Fall, Little Lovely Things, The Good Girl's Guide to Great Sex, The Third Twin, The Self-Care Prescription, No Judgments, The First Mistake, The Bug Jar, Neverworld Wake, Careful What You Wish For, Eat to Beat Disease, The Dream Daughter, The Woman in the Dark, Even Better Than Eden, All We Ever Wanted, The Turn of the Key, The Extremely Busy Woman's Guide to Self-Care, Forbidden, The Arrangement, Digital Minimalism, It Starts with the Egg, The Night Olivia Fell, The Chain, Someone We Know, Him, Eleanor and Gray, The Passengers, The Test, The Bullet Journal Method, Imaginary Friend, The Secrets She Keeps, Last Summer, Sleep, 24/6, The Wives, Misery, The Other Mrs. Miller, Burnout, Regretting You, The Carnivore Diet, Darling Rose Gold, Before I Go to Sleep, How to Walk Away, Her Pretty Face, In 5 Years. Okay, that's it for this video, you guys. I really hope that you enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments if you've read any of the same books that I have and what you thought about them. But I will see you guys soon in another video. Bye, everyone.